This is the Technic 911 GT3 RS. This model took LEGO designers over a year to design and develop in direct consultation with Porsche itself. It took me 3 long evenings of careful concentration to get through the more than 500 pages of instructions, assembling over 2,700 pieces. It's a terrible shame then that the overwhelming majority of those pieces went into some fantastic drivetrain assemblies that you now can't even see. All the good stuff is buried deep inside the chassis and covered by layers and layers of beams and panels that were not even designed to be removed. More on that later, but for now, let's enjoy what you can see. The body lines of the 991 series car are captured pretty perfectly here, though the ride height's a little bit low, more like an R than an RS, and the tailpipes are definitely too small and widely spaced. A brand new wheel was designed specifically for this model, and they also introduced a new large fender piece. You'll see the fender again in future Technic sets, though not the exclusive printed versions used up front here. The wheel hubs are exclusive printed tiles, but the yellow brake calipers that you see, those have stickers. The suspension works, though with the low clearance there's not much range of motion. It's a little bit better at the rear. I don't like the gaps on the sides of the trunk lid, but that does all open up, and inside they actually include a piece of fitted Porsche design luggage with stickers on both sides. At the rear, the wings angle can be adjusted, and of course you can raise the hood to reveal the engine. Well, a tiny sliver of engine. It's just like the real thing in this sense, with frustratingly limited access, but unfortunately you just have to trust me when I tell you there are a full 6 horizontally opposed cylinders in there with moving pistons and conrods. In the middle of the car you can adjust the faux side mirrors and of course open the doors to reveal more of the interior. The bucket seats are built with the black and lava orange microfiber option style, and there's a partial dash with stickers, as well as a center console display. The sticker sheet also includes an option to show a map of the Porsche test track. That's 3B at the upper right. Rack and pinion steering of course works from the wheel, but the maximum steering angle feels a little bit limited in both directions. I really miss all of this though. This is footage I took after just the first of 4 major phases of the build. To see any of this again now would require a ton of destructive and just heartbreaking disassembly. The most fascinating thing in the entire build to me is the working paddle shifter setup. Es ist Lego Doppelkupplungsgetriebe und es ist wunderbar. So many types of mechanisms are integrated into one system, it's miraculous they fit into such constrained spaces. There's also a working forward neutral reverse unit attached to the front of the gearbox. I temporarily hooked up a power functions motor to the back of the engine to demonstrate everything in motion. It only has 4 speeds, not 7 like the real thing, but it's still awesome to me. Check it out. Here's forward, neutral, reverse, now back to forward. So this is first gear here, now switching second, third, and fourth. Now you can downshift. So here comes third, second, and first again, and back to neutral. There's a great speed range and everything just works well. There is an error in the instructions though. On page 193 you'll see this. This actually switches second and third in the gear shift order. You want to swap the black and gray pairs of gears across the center line like this. This makes everything work perfectly with no extra friction, no downside whatsoever. Again, this is what's in the instructions. It's wrong. This is what you want. All credit and thanks for this fix go to Technic fan Flags NZ, who authored the written review of this set for brickset.com, so be sure to check that out as well. Now getting this many gears to run smoothly did take an exceptional amount of time and patience. Not only do you need to preserve a little bit of play on either side of every moving gear and bushing as usual, you also need to carefully align every Technic beam assembly to make sure everything is parallel or perpendicular. The tiniest bit of twist or bend can cause gears to grind and shifts to stall. Build on a flat, hard surface and don't move forward in the instructions if anything feels or sounds off. In the second phase of the build, you assemble this layer of frame structure right here, and before you even apply the first body panel, the transmission is sealed away for good. You need to get it all right the first time. Backtracking would be somewhat of a nightmare. Then again, does it really matter? LEGO makes no mention anywhere of power functions integration for this thing. I'm sure a master Technic fan could shoehorn the necessary components in while probably kicking some other stuff out, but LEGO surely hasn't made it easy in the final product here. So no automated movement, no ability to see the mechanisms even sitting still. This almost may as well have no drivetrain at all. Almost. Having actually built this thing, I know intimately what's inside and how amazing it is. When I look at this car, I see not just a pretty shell, but all the engineering that went into its now hidden core. I feel it, and it gives me a sense of pride in owning this thing. It's similar to the sense of pride when you drive a real Porsche, even though you can't watch the inner workings of the full-size transmission behind you as you roll through the gears. And in most cases, you can't really see the engine at all unless you put the whole car up on a lift. I am happy with this set. Very happy. I feel like I got my money's worth. There are already a lot of complaints out there that it's overpriced due to licensing fees and corporate greed. But the fact is, the price to part ratio on this set is right smack in the middle of the entire 2016 Technic lineup. In spite of all of the lower value sets being unlicensed, having no exclusive printed parts, and featuring none of this fancy deluxe packaging that's actually pretty slick. All that said, I would have been significantly happier if I could A, hook up power functions to it by design, B, remove some panels from the back and actually watch the pistons popping in and out in the cylinders, and C, just sit there and watch all the gears in the transmission going around as I work the paddles. As it is, I have a very cool looking, huge display model here and very fond memories of building, operating, and watching the drivetrain once upon a time. That's it for my thoughts on this set. Please share a comment with your honest thoughts, regardless of whether you agree with my opinions. I thank you for watching and look forward to your input. I'll talk to you again soon.